Hello, hello, hello. Ba. Hey, do I? Huh? Hello? Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello, hello. 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 Hello, hello. Hello? Huh? Okay. Okay. Hello, and should hear something, and I'm not. Why? We are waiting for you. Okay. Wait, let me open PowerPoint. Okie dokie. It's no. I'll just zoom in then. Hey friends, so you want to animate in Blender? What's the use? It's free, powerful, and there are lots of tutorials out there. Great choice. Now, let's take a peek at Blender. This is what you can make in Blender. Well, you can make lots of stuff, but this is good for 3 days work. This is the render panel. Hello. Let's go to the layout then. So, this is the layout. Yeah. All that. Let me tell you something. Why don't we just... Dear God, looks imposing, doesn't it? Don't worry though, I've got your back. Somehow. Oh, I know. How about I demo it? Here's what we'll cover. We'll navigate the 3D space, use the timeline, animate with keyframes, add props to a rig, maybe add some sound if I have time for that, and do a simple render. Post-edit, Ricky here. The video was getting a bit long, so I've cut it into shorter chunks. You're welcome. No need to thank me. Alright, now that you know the game plan, let's start at the beginning. So, I'll skip over complicated technical stuff for now, like how to make your own shaders, the pros versus cons of one thing or another, drivers, geonodes, and I'll stop listing things before I alienate you any further. Plus, once you feel like you're ready for it, you can either ask me or watch videos from people with far more Blender skills than I've got, like Blender Guru, Ryan King Art, Joey Carlino, CG Essential, CG Cookie, Dico, Default Cube, and CG Matter. There are lots more, but those are the ones I quickly recall at the top of my head. First, let's close this because you're not quite exactly ready for this, probably. Let's open Blender. I'm using Blender 4.3.2, but new version should be fine. In the new file option, you can see several options. For this tutorial, you can either choose General or click off the tab. Usually, you'd be greeted by the default Blender cube, which you'll have to ritually sacrifice, as all Blender users do. My new project looks different because I set it to use a general human model for scale, which is
all the better sacrifice if you ask me.
Select the object and select the object and press X to get a pop-up screen, then press delete and you've deleted the character. You can also delete an object by going up here to the object tab and then going all the way down here for delete. And they show the shortcut key here as well. Wait a second, I am going to enable screencast keys so you can see what the heck I'm doing. Screencast, yep. And you can see right over here what I'm doing because of a brilliant add-on I enabled. Like a professional YouTuber. If you regret your choice, you can press Ctrl Z to undo. Viewport basics. Now to navigate the viewport, scroll wheel allows you to zoom in and out. Pressing the scroll wheel makes you rotate around a point. Holding shift scroll wheel allows you to move around the scene. If you press the axis in the upper right corner, you can set a flat perspective called orthographic projection. You can also enable this view at any time if you press the little grid icon. You can also enable perspectives by pressing the numpad key. 7 has top and Control 7 has bottom. 1 has front, Control 1 has back, 3 has the right side, Control 3 has the left side. Or enter orthographic by pressing 5. If you want to rotate around a specific part, you can use the axis to home in on the object or part you want to spin around. For example, if you're over here, you can press one of these handy dandy viewpoints and you can home in using the shift and scroll wheel. So if you want to go around the center of the world, you can home in like this. So now we're centered around this part of the world. We can also, for example, if we want a head in view, we can do this. And now you're centered around the head. Make sure you don't rotate too fast though, because you'll navigate yourself straight into getting sick. Oh yeah, I myself recently found out about a handy dandy way to navigate Blender if you want to model things like houses. You can press Shift, numpad plus, and a tilde. And then you're falling to your death. To enter walk mode, you can't edit things like that, but it's handy if you want to feel out the scale of the scene. Also make sure you have a floor, otherwise you'll fall forever. If that happens, press right click to cancel the mode. This actually brings us neatly into adding basic objects like planes, spheres, and whatever other shapes toddlers play with. This fits like a glove. I'm very smart. Now, if you want to add an object to the scene, you can either press Add, Mesh, and click on whatever you fancy. Or you could press Shift A and go to Mesh, and you can add something from there. For now, let's add a plane. Before you click off though, note the little tab on the lower left side of your screen that says Add Plane. Click on it and you'll see some other options, most notably the size, which ends at 2 meters, which is about 33.3 McDoubles stacked vertically for you Americans. You can click on the 2 meter and reduce or scale the size depending on what you want. I honestly want a bit of breathing room since I don't like being so close quarters to other people. But hey, you can be a virtual space invader as long as it's not a real person on the other side. Oh, and while we're here, save often. Blender does have an autosave, but don't rely on it. Just press Ctrl S every so often, otherwise Henry might get wiped out in a crash. When in walking mode, you can use the scroll wheel to slow down or speed up, and you can still fall off into the infinite abyss forever. Now, where was I? Now roam this little plane. It's a bit empty though, isn't it? I mean, I've got old Henry here, but you've only got that cube in your scene, if you haven't sacrificed and eaten by now. And as exciting as a sphere is, I don't really want just that.
Hey you there! Are you bored by basic toddler shapes? Then I introduce to you add-ons.
Wow, add-ons, but I am a poor college student.
Oh wow, there really isn't much. But good news, native Blender add-ons are free. Just go to Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, and add whichever one you want.
Cool. For extra objects, I would usually want to go for Archimesh since I build houses in Blender, but you can also check out IKEA Browser, Bolt Factory, and extra mesh objects. Yes, IKEA Browser literally has 3D models of IKEA furniture. Why is it there? I don't know. After you've made your selection from the menu, press the hamburger icon on the bottom left and press Save Preferences. You should see a lot more objects to play around with now. From gemstones, to teapots, honeycombs, pipes, roofs, and yes, IKEA furniture. Wow, look at that. I don't know how to pronounce Swedish. I nearly want to say I don't know how to pronounce IKEA. Oh. Anyway, now, if you want to add objects in places other than the world origin, you can press the red and white circle and place the cursor elsewhere, since that is where new objects are spawned in. For example, let me grab a teapot. And dear Henry over here. That's not a head, Henry. I'm very impressed that you're able to carry that on your head. Now, if you want to scale down an object, please press S while selecting it and move your mouse till you're happy. See, ain't that much better? If you want to squash the object, you can press S, Z, X, or Y to squash it in a certain direction. If you want to adjust where it is after placing it, you can press G to grab the object. You can press Ctrl to lock it onto the grid, and you can press Z, X, or Y to move it on one direction. I'm thinking of moving it right there. You can also press G and shift one direction to move it everywhere except that direction. So if you only, for example, want to move it horizontally, you can press Shift Z because it will exclude the Z axis. Now you can also press G, Shift X, which will exclude the X axis, so it will only move on the Y and Z axis. Now then, looking good, Henry. Though, notice how the teapot is a bit blocky? You can smoothen it by right-clicking and pressing Shade Smooth if you have a completely round object. Though, if your object mixes hard lines and smooth lines, you can press Auto Smooth, which will leave certain parts smooth but sharpen other ones with a certain angle. You can see if I decrease the angle needed here, it will show a lot more sharp edges, and if I increase it, it will show a lot less sharp edges. Now this doesn't add geometry, mind you, so if you have a low geometry object, you can still see it, even with smooth shading. You can increase the geometry by going to Modifiers, Search, and type in Subdivision Surface. As you can see, this has added geometry. If you have a weaker computer, do not slide the levels for Viewport, as you really tax your computer. Every time you up a level, you double the geometry, so subdiv wisely. You've got Viewport and the render settings. What we're in now is the Viewport. Render activates when you render and want to get your end result, so it's not really of much use now, but we'll touch on it more later. Okay, now, on to the next thing. The time? Oh right, I'm dragging on a bit, aren't I? How about I give you some time to digest this, and we can pick it up again next time with timeline and animation. Bye! Nee, wacht, je moet nog een klein stukje doen. Wat een luilak toch. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Next time, another thing. Are you paraplu?